Hey guys, I'm basically gonna go ahead and give a little rundown on how I do water changes. My water changes usually take me about 20, 30 minutes, 40, depending on how much I really want to deeply clean into my tank. Here are just a few things that I like to use while cleaning my tank. I always like to have a towel around just because you will be in and out of the tank, and it just makes, it easier. You don't get water all over the place, and you get to grab things while you have less water drippage, and it just makes it a lot easier. I also like to have this for when I'm adding water back into my tank. Unfortunately, my gravel vacuum isn't long enough for me to connect it to my hose, or for me to put it from the outside to the inside. So basically, I use one of these, and I like to treat my water before actually putting into the tank, but some people just prefer to do it at the end. I have done it at the end, and it doesn't seem to affect the fish, but I just don't know if those 20-30 minutes in between me cleaning the tank actually affects them when it comes to tap water. I also like to have a bucket, my gravel vacuum, and my tank wall scrubber. I like to scrub the walls of my tank before actually siphoning the water out. And also, you need to remember not to leave any of your tank equipment unplugged. You want to unplug everything, just because if your water does go below minimum on your filter, you can dry out your filter and mess up whatever's inside there. Hopefully one day I will be able to know exactly what goes on in that filter, but I'm learning as I'm going. Also, you don't want to leave your heater on while there's no water in the tank. Fortunately, my minimum water level is up there. I'll be doing maybe a 25 to 30% water change, so I will have to turn it off. But I don't think I would need to turn off my filter, being that the water is taken up from right there at that point. But I still like to turn it off, just because I don't want the water to continue dropping from such a high altitude, I guess you can say. You also want to feed your fish afterwards, just because I like to do that. I spoil my fish. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I like to keep around. I like to also keep my net, just in case I get any of the babies in the bucket by accident, and they are pretty new to this, so most of the bigger ones know to swim to the opposite side of the tank while I am cleaning the tank. I went to go look for some new equipment that I could probably try to use in order to create something for a betta fish, and I think that's going to be my next project. But yeah, you also want to I prefer to treat my water, like I said, and I also like to use I think it's this. Oh no, that's the dechlorinizer. I like to use this right after I clean my tank. I tend to put it in the corner, just because I don't know if the fish, my guppy fry tend to like to be in the way, and they will go right into the stuff, and I just don't know if it affects them. So I put it at the far end of my tank, and I kind of feed them at the same time, so they come to one corner, and I'm able to treat the water. This, what it does is just it quickly clears cloudy and hazy aquarium water. You probably don't want to do this too often. I usually do it maybe once or twice a month, and I usually clean my tank maybe 4 times, so I don't do it every water change. If I, lag a little bit and I take time in between water changes, I will put a little more into the tank, but that's when I don't change the water. It's just to kind of clear it up. I also like to keep my tank pretty clean from the outside, but every now and then I like to remove the filter media, wipe everything down. You never want to wash anything with soap. I know that soap could probably be safe if you take everything off, but what I like to do is just wet a napkin with the tank water, and I wipe everything down. I take the filter media out. You never want to change the filter media when you do water changes, so I'll probably wait a week being that it hasn't been a month and I'm not too worried that it's dirty, but I will give everything else a wipe down. I also like to keep the lights on, and I'll just tuck it behind the aquarium, and I'm able to illuminate everything that's in the tank, and if I'm missing anything, it can kind of see it floating in there. So that I will keep on, but I just make sure that I don't get anything around the cords wet. Sooner or later, I will try to mount the extension cable onto the wall. That way I don't have to worry of anything spilling on the floor and cutting the power out. So yeah.